Good morning, students of Central Freshman Academy. For those of you who do not know, I'm Mr. Rose, your assistant principal here at the Freshman Academy. Today, what we want to do is just go over some basic things to help you be successful this school year. So this is your 2019-2020 school year student orientation, and let's get it started. First off with some Red Devil basics. Class dues is our first topic up. For freshmen, these dues are only $20. This covers your lockers, any student activities that we'll have on campus this year, your placement in the yearbook so you can showcase that wonderful smile of yours, et cetera, et cetera. As you progress through your high school career, you'll have sophomore, junior, and senior dues, but those can definitely be paid at a later date. So as we move forward to tutoring, makeup work, or meetings with a teacher that you may need at any time, if you need assistance during the school year, you do have time slots available every morning from 8:15 to 8:55 that you can go and meet with your teacher. The only thing that you need to make sure of is that you have a pass, either a physical handheld pass or a pass that's generated by your teacher via email so that all the teachers can know why you are wandering through the halls and you can get to your destination safely without any hassle. Our next topic is absences. You have 3 days to turn in an excuse and submit your makeup work for that class. Any long range assignments are due the day that you return back to school. If you are accumulating too many absences, right, you get up to 7 absences, you will be reported to a truancy officer, right? This should serve as a warning because if you get to your 8th absence, we're all aware of the new policy that if you get 8 unexcused or excused absences, you are at that point eligible for Saturday school, right? So not only do you have to go to school on a Saturday, you also have to pay a fee to attend the Saturday school. So let's make sure that we're here from day to day, taking in what we need to take in. And that will ultimately lead to our success and keep you out of Saturday school. Our next topic is ISS and care placement, right? While we are here, students, there is no phones, no sleeping, no hoods or hats allowed in ISS or care. Any work that is given to you by your teachers, it needs to be completed while you're there. And lastly, if you're in ISS or care, there is no checkouts allowed. You must stay in your placement for the entire day or it does not count and you'll have to repeat that day in ISS or care. Moving forward, we have a few more basics to discuss concerning dismissal after school, right? No checkouts are permitted after 3:30 p.m. Any checkouts during that time will interfere with our bus let out and our car rider lines. So we are not permitting anyone to be checked out after 3:30 p.m. Right? You must also be out of the building by 4:05 or administrative detention will be given to you. If you are staying after school, you need to be with a sponsor or a coach no later than 4:10 p.m. So the basics and moral of the story is after school, make sure you get where you're supposed to be with who you are supposed to be. That way we have no issues in that regard. Car riders, you must be picked up no later than 4:30 p.m. Students must be picked up in front of CFA or the student ramp in front of CHS. Any student picked up on the road at Dobbs Drive will receive an ISS placement from this point forward. We've had too many people trying to get their rides to pick them up on the road. This is a safety concern, right? We don't want anything happening to you out there on the road. That's why we are not allowing people to just get picked up on the road out on Dobbs Drive, right? This is a big safety issue, so we're discontinuing that as of right now. All right, our next topic is student deliveries and phone contacts to the CFA front office. No flowers, balloons, or candy or fast food deliveries are allowed, even if it's from your parents, right? We don't want to cloud up the front office and mess up their rhythm and routine by all these unwarranted deliveries, right? So none of that stuff is allowed to be delivered here. Students are not allowed to receive phone calls in the front office, right? So your personal cellular device, that's what that's for. That is for you to make calls on. Our phone in the front office, that is for office use only, right? Let's move forward to library use, right? Library use, the Red Devil Media Center is available before and after school or at lunch with a pass. So not in between classes, or you can't just go over there without a pass and say that you'll tell your teacher that you're in the library, right? The only way that you can go to the library is with a pass or before and after school, right? All right, let's talk about grades for just a moment and the grade reporting system that we have put in place, starting with the progress reports. Here are dates concerning when you will be receiving your progress reports. Right, we have Thursday, September the 5th, Thursday, November the 7th, Thursday, February the 6th, when we make it to the 2020 year, and Thursday, April 16th, also in 2020, right? The report cards will drop on the days as follows. For the fall semester first 9 weeks, we have October 17th. The second 9 weeks report card will be coming to you on January the 9th. For our spring semester, we have March 19th. And the last 9 weeks, your report card will actually be mailed out to you by May 29th. A couple little subtopics over here. Failure is not an option, but if it happens, we do have you covered. Summer school or after school is required for you to make up any credits that you are lacking. The prices for those makeup sessions are as follows, right? $75 per half credit. So a whole credit or a whole class will cost you $150, right? That's money that you can be spending on all kind of other things. So make sure that while we're at school, we're learning our lessons, we're getting our lessons, and we're avoiding having to pay this or your parents having to pay this fee. Credit recovery is also afforded to you if you fail with at least a 40 average. Partial objectives can be given to you so that you can make up and that credit can be recovered. Grade recovery, fail with below a 40 average, and you must recover all objectives for that class, right? You cannot graduate without all credits being accumulated. So make sure that you understand that you are now in the 9th grade. It's time to really focus down on all of your studies and all of your classes and make sure that you stay on track to graduate with everybody else in your class. The Student Code of Conduct. All students enrolled at Central Freshman Academy are to be familiar and comply with all aspects of PCBOE Code of Conduct. That's why we're presenting this student orientation to you now. Your teachers have discussed it with you. It's your responsibility to be informed and knowledgeable of everything that we have in place. That way you don't have excuses or you find yourself in the office with referrals or even with a hearing headed to the Success Academy. Right? You can find this at www.pcboe.net. You can hover over the About Us section and click on District Reports and Policies, and then you can check out the Code of Conduct if you happen to forget something that's being communicated to you by your teachers today. To help ensure the safety and security throughout the school day, we also have surveillance cameras. They show really well. They have audio on them. This is for the monitoring of students and visitors that are on our campus, both inside and outside of our building. And we all know that we have the cameras in the classroom as well. This is for safety and to help your teachers improve on their instruction from day to day. And lastly, let's talk these tardies. Punctuality is a vital part of success. Always being on time sets you up to receive all information that's being presented. You get a jump start on what's being presented in the class so that you can finish on time, etc., etc. Tardies, the guidelines are as follows. Right? Let me go back really quick. A tardy referral will be written on the 4th, 6th, and 8th and 10th tardies to any class period within the 9-week period. Disciplinary actions will be taken by Ms. Peters and myself within each semester, and they are as follows. For your first tardy, that's 2 days of administrative detention. The second tardy, that's 1 day of ISS. Third tardy, you are suspended pending a parent conference. Right, fourth tardy gets you 3 days of ISS and a trip to see Ms. Nicholas, our guidance counselor. The fifth tardy referral, you're out of school, suspended for 1 day. Number 6, we got to suspend you for 2 days. And the seventh tardy referral, suspension pending a hearing with Ms. Peters. Right? Make sure that you are where you're supposed to be. Make sure that you understand this code of conduct. If you have questions, please present those questions to your teachers. Or if you see me in the hallway and you have a question for me, something that you're confused or uncertain about, please present those questions to me so I can clear up any confusion and I can help you have a successful year this year. All right, Red Devils, have a good one.
Hi, good afternoon, Red Devils. This is Mrs. Peters, principal of Central Freshman Academy, and I'm going to pick up where Mr. Rose left off with our tardy policy. So I know you've already touched on this just a little bit yesterday, but we did want to reiterate it to you because punctuality is a very important trait for successful people. And it's something that we want you to develop as a skill so that you get things turned in on time and you get where you're supposed to be on time. Because this is going to help you not only while you're in school, but after you get out of high school. So just to clarify again, our tardy policy, every teacher is responsible for writing their own referrals when you get to 4 unexcused tardies, 6, 8, and 10. Every teacher can do this. So depending on how many total tardy referrals you get in a semester is what is going to determine your actual punishment. So as you can see there, we've gone through the punishments. I'm not going to read all those to you, but just know that those are cumulative from all of your teachers within a semester. And the teachers will start over their tardy counts each 9 weeks. So if you have any questions about that, you can just come to us later. But please know that they're counting tardies already, and we want you to keep an eye on that. All right, so up next, we've got our policy on electronic device. So what we're talking about here, pretty much your cell phones, your Chromebooks, anything that is going to, get in the way of the learning process. So what we have allowed for you guys to do is to keep your cell phones on you, be able to carry those things, and even use them between classes. You can use them at lunch. You can use them before school. That way you do have that capability to communicate throughout the day. But when you're in the classroom, we would like for you to be involved and engaged in the learning process, which means you may not be able to have your phone, and it is totally up to your teacher. So if your teacher says they don't ever want to see a cell phone out in their classroom, that is their prerogative. So you'll need to put that phone up. But if if you are allowed to have that phone sitting on your desk or in your bag next to you while you're in a teacher's classroom, just use your manners and be respectful. We want to teach you device etiquette. In other words, we don't sit there and text on our phones, scroll through social media when we should be engaged in our classroom. If you glance at it and put it back up in your pocket, shouldn't be a big deal, but we don't want you to make that a habit and something that becomes an issue. Headphones and earbuds, please know once we dismiss to first period in the mornings, those are not allowed anymore. Those need to go out of sight and be put away completely. The only time they need to come back out is if you're in the classroom and your teacher has told you to get those out for a specific purpose. Otherwise, we shouldn't even see those. It does create an issue when you can't hear us in the hallways or you can't hear what's going on around you. So please keep those put up throughout the school day. And also remember that anything you bring to school that's your personal property is your responsibility. If you leave your cell phone sitting on a table in the lunchroom and you go back and it's gone, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. So if you bring it, be responsible for it, keep it put up where it should be, and there shouldn't be any issues. All right, next up, we're going to talk about dress code. Dress code is it's always a big deal with us. It's something that a lot of you guys probably don't agree with, but I want to explain why we have the dress code that we have. We want you to dress for success. We want you to know what's appropriate for what environments and what is not. And everything that is on our no-go list are things that are not appropriate for the school environment. They would not be appropriate for the work environment. You wouldn't wear these things to an interview. Shouldn't be stuff that you wear to church, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that we treat school with the respect that we would treat a job that we were going to. So I'm not going to read that list to you. I think you guys have already covered that, but just please know that the warning has been done. So we will start implementing the referral process for dress code for when you forget to dress appropriately. So please keep up with that. Be mindful of that, and just dress for success. We want everybody to look professional around here. So please do the very best you can to follow that dress code. Also, I do want to reiterate, if you do come to school and get sent to the office because you are wearing something that is not appropriate, and you get put in in-school suspension because you do not have something to change into, that does not take the place of the punishment for the actual offense. So if you go to ISS and then your parent brings you something to change into, you'll still get whatever the punishment is on the offense list that you're looking at. So please keep that in mind. All right, next we're going to talk about dates, important dates. I'm sure everybody's very excited. Next Monday is our Labor Day holiday. So you're going to have a good, nice, long weekend. Our first home varsity football game will be against Smith Station next Friday, September 6th. That'll be at 8 p.m. We have volleyball coming up, home match on September 10th. That'll start at 5. And CFA football is going to start kicking up home games on September 13th. So please come out and support us. We have the Red Devil College Fair coming up September 26th. We'd love to have parents here. This is open to ninth graders and seniors. So freshmen and seniors only. Let your parents know about that. They can contact the counselor, either Miss Nicholas for freshmen or Miss Kite if you're a senior, if they would like to participate and come to that with you. Also make note, October 1st, we're going to take our first fall ACT or pre-ACT grades 9 through 11. We want everybody to, be practicing for those tests so that we can do our very best. So please make sure while you're in class and doing some of those pre-ACT strategies to prepare you, that you're really focusing on that, because we do want everybody to score as high as they possibly can in the final ACT when that comes up for us in the spring. First semester parenting day is October 3rd. Again, we would like for all parents to be able to participate and come visit us. We'll have more information come out about that soon. Just make sure your parents are aware of that day. So that's coming up October 3rd. All right, and the last thing that I'm going to mention to you guys is just representing us while you're here at school, representing us well while you're here at school. Academics are important. This is the foundation for the rest of your life. How you do here is developing your habits. How you are as a teenager will eventually become how you are as an adult. So it's good to start practicing the right thing now. That means have your goals and stick to them. Try to achieve those goals. And we want you to accomplish as much as you possibly can academically while you're here, because the better you do, the more opportunity you have eventually when you graduate from school. So one thing that we're just doing for you guys, for those of you that strive for excellence and you get that A in the class at the end of the semester, as long as you haven't had any discipline related attendance from any particular class, you got an A, you've never been to ISS or the Success Academy or class exclusion and missed that class, then you might be able to exempt that final. So that means you might get to take a extra day or two at the end of the semester. So that's something we put out there for you guys as an incentive for you to do the very best that you possibly can, because everybody can accomplish this. It just takes the drive and the effort. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Mr. Vickers, and he's going to touch base a little bit more about attendance, because that is extremely important, because if you're not here, you're not learning the way you should be. So I hope you guys have learned a lot over the last couple of days, and you know where to find me if you need help with anything. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Good day, Central High School. This is Mr. Vickers, principal. I wanted to talk to you about the new attendance policy that we have at Central High School that's been board approved, and make sure that we're all on the same page as far as the new requirements. Last year, you may have been contacted by a letter from the DA's office talking to you about being in jeopardy of having to go to court for early truancy. So there are two different types of attendance that you need to be aware of. First is the early truancy program. That is a state law that says any student who gets to 7 unexcused absences, they are required to go to truancy court with their parents. So we need to make sure anytime we're absent, we're turning in notes, whether it's parent note, doctor's notes, dentist, whatever. Turn in notes for whenever you're absent so you never get to the number 7. That is the early truancy program. Now, last year we started talking about the term chronic absenteeism, and that is excused or unexcused absences. And remember, when we talk about an all-day absence, we're talking about if I check in after 12:30, then that's an all-day absence. Or if I check out before 12:30, that's an all-day absence. If you miss more than half the day in some shape, form, or fashion, then that's an all-day absence. So, what has become school board policy is if you have more than 7 unexcused or excused absences in a semester, you will lose all of your credits for that semester no matter what your grade is in that class. This is new school board policy that just takes effect this year. That is 7 excused or 7 unexcused absences combined will cause you to lose your half credits in those classes for that semester, even if you have 100 average. So we need to make sure we're at school. If you know you're going to be out for going on a college visit, or if you're going to be out of town due to a family emergency, or if you end up with some type of medical issue that's going to cause you to be out of school, all those things that you can notify us in advance by bringing in documentation, then we can code you extension of the classroom because you can work on things from home, and those absences will not count against you, but we need that documentation in advance. Field trips don't count against you. Anything school related where you're out of school doing things, extracurricular, athletics, those do not count against you because we code you extension of the classroom. But it is critical that you are here at school and that you do not get over 7 absences. Now, we will put something in place, and it is already in place, if you do happen to get to that 8th absence, well, you will be assigned Saturday school. It will appear as if that's a punishment, but it's more so an opportunity. If I'm at my 8th absence, I can attend Saturday school from 8 to 12, and I can have an absence taken off. So I would be back at 7, and I would still be able to keep my credits. We will assign 3 or 4 different Saturday schools throughout the second 9 weeks. To attend Saturday school, it is a $25 fee that you'll pay when you show up that Saturday morning, and that is to pay for the adult that's there to supervise you. You'll bring your Chromebook and you'll work on either Edgenuity if you have Edgenuity classes, or you'll work on ACT prep or Work Keys prep. Again, it will come across as a punishment, but in reality it's trying to help subtract absences from your total number for that semester. So 2 different types of absences we're talking about. Early warning truancy program, that is state law. That is 7 unexcused absences for the year, could result in you being referred to truancy court. So get your notes in so that you don't have 7 unexcused absences. And then you have chronic absenteeism, which is the new school board policy, that you cannot accumulate more than 7 absences, excused or unexcused, in a semester, or you will lose your credits for that semester. And there is no making them up through credit recovery. You would have to do the entire half credit over. So do whatever you got to do to be here. Make sure you understand, if I check in after 12:30, that's an all-day absence and will go towards that total count. If I check out before 12:30, that will count towards my total as an all-day absence. So let's avoid that from happening by being here at school, and if you do find yourself where you know you're going to be out for a legitimate reason, turn in documentation in advance so we can get you coded as extension of the classroom, and that we don't find ourselves taking away credits from any students, because we absolutely do not want to do that. Thanks, and have a great day.